What's up, gang? It's Chris coming at you for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us, and it is the Late Late Show. Tonight's episode is brought to you by the Late Late Show. It is, it's only 10:30, but that feels late to me. At 44, having worked in the yard all day, lifting tons of river rock and all the things, 10:30 is the Late Late Show. So, but I want to share with you the continuation of this conversation on anger. Yesterday's episode was about how anger is and has been a lid on my results. And in observing the anger, just observing it is helping, right? I'm like, not just observing it, but understanding that underneath anger is pain, and underneath pain is a fear. Understanding those three things for me has been super helpful, because now I'm starting, and also, here it keeps coming, and underneath that, that anger is self-righteous and doesn't care about anyone. Anger just wants what it wants, when it wants it, how it wants it. That is also helpful to know. Because what I know intellectually is that things never go the way you want them to. Like there is never a time in life where everything's going to go exactly how you want it to be. That's just not how it goes. So how absurd that I would live in a space of, I want it to go this way, when I want it to go this way, how I want it to go this way, and that is my expectation, is absurd. Of course I'm angry. Of course I would be angry if my expectation was that things were going to go the way I expected them to go, when I wanted them to go, how I wanted them to go. Well, of course. So, noticing that, working in the yard today, oftentimes when I'm working on projects, that's a great place for me to get angry about things, because often when I'm working on things, things don't go the way I want them to go, when I want them to go, how I want them to go. But today I was just noticing, that's it. I was noticing, period. So things would things happened that happened. And there were moments where I could have been frustrated in my day. And I just noticed it. I'm like, got it. This is one of those moments where I would want this to go a certain way, but it's not going this way. And this is what it is. This is what it is. This is the way it's going. This is the way it's going. Rather than being mad about it, angry about it, self-righteous about it, I just observed it. Now, this is what back to the Heart of the Soul, the book Heart of the Soul, this is what I believe Gary Zukav is talking about with detachment, right? Detachment is being able to be present in this moment with whatever is, even if it's not going how I want it to go, when I want it to go, how I want it to go, right? So that's the principle here tonight, right? The principle here is you also, maybe your anger doesn't look like mine. Maybe your anger doesn't look like mine. But what I know for many of us is we're angrier than we are admitting. If anger is about you wanting what you want, when you want it, how you want it, and when you don't get that, the frustration shows up however that shows up for you. Maybe your anger doesn't come out like loud curse words and lots of high energy. Maybe your anger comes out in raiding your pantry. Maybe your anger comes out in completely shutting yourself off from people. Maybe your anger comes out in something as evolved as having self-care days where you're like, I'm just going to take a self-care day. When in fact, underneath the surface of that, what's happening is you're fuming. You're fuming because it didn't go the way you want it to go, how you want it to go, when you want it to go. And so you decide to take your toys and go home and have a self-care day. Do you see, and if you're not noticing it, then what happens is you think that that's good. You're like, yes, it's good to have a self-care day. But what you're missing is that anger is the thing happening here. So I'm not sure what that is for you. You're going to have to look for that for yourself. I'm just in the middle of it for me, and I can tell you what I'm noticing. I can tell you what I'm seeing, but it'll manifest differently for you, for sure. And as you start to notice it for what it is, by the way, you can start to actually just be with the present moment, going however the present moment is going. Now, can you hear that? That's my dog breathing behind us here. Let's see if we can get an Ellie cam. Oh, there's the Ellie cam. So let's transition this to marketing for a second. Your business. You, in your business, have a goal. You have a thing you want. You want it the way you want it, when you want it, how you want it. And you haven't been getting it. Yes? You haven't been getting what you want, when you want it, how you want it. And so, you have a reaction to that. Let's just call that anger. What I'm curious about for you is, how does that show up for you? What do you do when things don't go how you want, when you want? How do things go for you? Like, what do you do? Do you do the self-care day thing? Do you pour yourself back into work and double down and get frustrated and angry? What is it? And I'm not really attached to what it is, but that you know what it is would be helpful and would serve you, because it, like me, could be your anger, like my anger, could be a lid on your results in business. So when you think about growing your clientele, sharing your message to grow your clientele, making the kind of money you want to make, having the lifestyle you want to have, creating the impact you want to create. My experience is that the people that I help, that I serve, are typically frustrated in the space of marketing and growth in their business. And that frustration is a softer term for what's really going on. Frustration is like what we call it in everyday language. But if we really get present to what's brewing underneath that frustration is anger. And in some cases, even some rage. But we don't like to feel that. So what we do is we block it, we hide from it, we pretend it's not there, and we go raid the pantry. We numb out by from that anger, from that rage, by doing other things. I love to get buried in more projects, whether it's home projects or work projects, more ideas, anything that's like, oh, that's not working, let me go look over here. Oh, this thing isn't working the way I wanted to, let me go try something else over here so I don't have to look at that thing. And then what I do is I just walk away from it and I do something different. Which is funny, right? Because it actually never solves the problem. What's opening up for me is that detaching from the outcome, detaching from this has to go a certain way, detaching from that then is actually allowing me to be with this moment here, not trying to go find a different moment, but be in this moment here. And in this moment, where I used to be frustrated in this moment now, detached from the result, the outcome, the whatever way it has to go, I'm actually able to play with it, to be with it, to shape it, to form it. Some of you get triggered and frustrated by things like me, and then you go somewhere else because this thing's pissed you off so much, you're not going to spend any more time here. Could be ads, could be Facebook and social media, could be messaging, could be that you haven't gotten leads lately. It could be that the kind of clients you're getting and attracting aren't good clients. It could be that you're not getting enough clients, like whatever it is. And it triggers you, and so then you go over here and try something different. Rather than detaching from the fact that it's not going how you want, when you want, detaching from that and being in the moment so that you can shape it, play with it, dance with it. This is what's opening up for me. Real time. I'm sharing this with you. I did my episode yesterday on anger, and now I'm doing an episode today on detachment. And why? Because today I was playing with detachment. In my projects, in my yard work, I was sitting there playing with the whole thing of like, so this is just the moment, and I could be frustrated right now, but I'm just going to be here with this. And I found myself starting to get interested and curious in this moment rather than being angry and pissed off at this moment, which put first of all, gave me back my power, and second of all, put me in a position to be creative with the moment in order to produce the result I was trying to produce. So that's the lesson tonight, gang. That's it, right? That's it. Number one, where are you experiencing this anger and frustration where things are going how you want, when you want? Where is that? In your business, obviously, but also in your life. And then secondly, I'm curious, like, what do you do? What is your expression of anger? And watch, some of you may not have noticed it as anger. Many of us don't like to acknowledge anger because it feels like a bad feeling. But let's just say that that's what it is. Whatever you do on the other side of things not going how you want, when you want, you do something. What is it that you do? Now, let's just say that that is an expression of your anger. So notice it. That's why I'm asking you to look for it. Because if you can notice it, then you're like, oh, this is what I do. This is what I do. This is how I sabotage myself. Right. Okay. All right, then here's the third part. Third part is, can you detach from it? Can you start to notice it? You're just like, this is me being frustrated that's not going how I want, when I want. And extra credit here then would be, can you start to isolate the pain and the fear? What are you afraid of? The reason you're angry about something, you're hiding from it, you're doing something over here rather than getting present to this moment that's uncomfortable for you because there's a fear underneath all that. What is it? Can you find it? Can you name it? And if you can name it, well, congratulations, because now you're starting to have the self-awareness that'll set you free. Just like my awareness today and yesterday is setting me free in ways. Yes? All right. So, by the way, this is, I've said this so many times, but I'll say it again for you. When you lead your conversation through your marketing, you don't have to have all the answers. I'm coming to you yesterday and today in the middle of the messiness. This is not perfection. What I'm sharing with you is not perfection. This is me coming to you with all of my messiness. Sharing with you, however, what I've noticed, what I'm noticing, what's opening up for me. You don't have to lead in marketing from a place of perfection. You can share what it is you're learning in the world, pay it forward so that it serves other people who also may be stuck. Yeah, I've been stuck in anger. Am stuck in anger. Learning how to get unstuck from anger. Why does that matter to your business and marketing? Because that is a lid. Your anger is a lid on your results, just like my anger is a lid on my results. So that's the lesson tonight, gang. I would love to hear in the comments what you're getting out of it. Yes. And we'll do another episode tomorrow, obviously. And I kind of like the idea of continuing this as like a series on anger. But if you are interested in learning how to market this way, like how do we lead from messiness? How do we share a message? How do we craft a message from the things in our life that happen, just like I'm doing with you in all these episodes? If you'd like to learn how to do that in order to help serve and support your people in their important work, then you can go to groundswellmethod.com, watch the videos for you there. And on the last page of those videos is an application button. You can fill out the application for my next upcoming 6-week program where we go all into this kind of work about how to actually craft this kind of message so that you can serve your people. All right, gang, that's it for tonight. Thanks for hanging out with me here. Until tomorrow, here's to you detaching from your anger and just observing the present moment. See you tomorrow.